Hello, and very happy to see you back on our channel. Today we give you a piece of breaking news from British news magazines. The Queen will determine the future of Meghan and Harry under public pressure. Some people claim that the Queen was taking away Harry's title of Prince. That would be nigh on impossible since he was born with that title. The titles that many are clamoring for Queen Elizabeth to take away from the ex-royals living in California are those she bestowed upon them on their wedding day. Duke of Sussex, Baron and Baroness of Kilkeel, and Earl and Countess of Dumbarton. Those three titles are the ones Prince Harry was not born with, and Meghan, who uses Duchess of Sussex essentially everywhere, was gifted to them. Apparently, at the Sandringham summit, Harry had to agree to a list of terms, which he would follow during his year of probation, for lack of a more suitable word. Harry and Meghan would be watched to see if they adhered to certain rules. Do you think they followed the rules? Did Meghan ever try to follow any royal rules or protocol? She walked in front of the Queen when explicitly told by aides and courtiers not to do so. Meghan might be daft, but she cannot forget something told to her mere minutes ago. Well, one does question her intelligence at times, but really, even the simple-minded could carry out this one little rule, not harebrained little Meghan. So why on earth would she follow rules when she lives in a country and an ocean away from the Queen, whom Meghan does not fear or respect enough, if at all? Harry tends to follow Meghan around like he's her little shadow. He's a shadow of the man he once was, and the pair of them are enjoying gaining access to Netflix on the basis of their titles and not on them being Mr. and Mrs. Meghan and Harry Markle. They would have never been granted a shot at being producers for Netflix without using Sussex. It's reported that vans filled with equipment for recording a show have been seen driving to the property Meghan and Harry use for their interviews. No one is quite sure where they actually live, but that house in Montecito doesn't appear to be where they lay their heads at night. They do not live there. But Netflix has been filming something in that house, and people are wondering if Meghan is doing interviews or a reality show. All I know is the year should be up soon. This is taking so very long. Just waiting to see what else Meghan can do to stick up a finger at the good people in Great Britain. I would think they have no real use for their titles other than to use it as a way to enter into business deals and make expensive friends. The titles will be gone in March, hopefully, but not the title of the prince. Harry gets to keep that one for life. He is a prince, but a duke? Harry's not acting like a duke. Might as well get rid of that one. I do believe that will happen, and I highly doubt Parliament would cause a stir over giving this couple the boot. Meghan and Harry need a real wake-up call. Telling them they aren't the Duke and Duchess of Sussex just might do it. Maybe. Should the Queen choose to remove the titles she bestowed on them after their marriage, there would be no argument from Parliament. Not just because they are as loathed in the Palace of Westminster as they are in the rest of the United Kingdom, but because they were in the Queen's gift and nothing to do with Parliament. If they're not living in that house, perhaps they're using it as their offices or making the house a tax write-off. Perhaps that's why the house is in Meghan's name only. I guess she, being a U.S. citizen, is eligible for the tax write-off. The property being in her name only serves her twofold: tax write-off while she's married to Harry, and if they should split anytime in the future, the house being in her name would be hers without contest. Win-win for her. How clever. While I'm not a legal expert, you'd think all assets gained after marriage are still on the table should they split. For all we know, they could have signed a prenup or made arrangements that she would have a home regardless of if the marriage lasted or not. if the dukedom is withdrawn, she could still rightfully style herself Princess Henry of Wales. But how much would you wager that she would try to style herself Princess Meghan? She wants her cake and eat it too. Be political and also be a duchess. The duchess part should be taken away, as it was gifted to her based on them both staying within the Commonwealth, which they're not. They said they would stay when they moved to Canada, but it was Meghan's plan to move to La La Land. If they do not live in that huge house they bought, where they're living, what source did you find to establish that? Harry will still be prince, but in my opinion, I think he will lose the title of duke. He does not deserve it, and quite frankly, I don't think he cares. Meghan will be mad at losing her title of duchess, but she doesn't deserve it after bad-mouthing the royal family. What do you feel about Meghan Markle's statement that she was unprotected by the institution of the British monarchy and was prohibited from defending herself in the face of savage media attacks on her when she was part of the royal family? She doesn't have enough depth or maturity at 40 to understand the following. 1. Protection is not necessarily jumping on a war horse and proceeding to behead whoever misunderstood you or rightfully pointed out your flaws. Silence as a quote erat demonstratum can and often is more effective. An overreaction makes it much worse than no reaction, especially if you think you've been bullied. Bullies thrive on emotional responses. Give them none, they'll go get their feed somewhere else. The most powerful weapon in this ever is when you couldn't care less, or at least you pretend you couldn't care less. As an ancient, very polished institution, the monarchy applies that as an art to most unwanted news. 2. Relentlessly mentioning again what others mentioned about you reinforces their point, or at least doesn't let that perceived offense die its natural death by becoming old news or irrelevant. It's advertising again and again a point you pretend to despise. 3. Regardless of what others do or say, you still choose what you do or say. That defines you. Jumping up and down in the midst of a word salad and delusional statements of changing the whole internet to suit you, the whole world actually, and then giving a meaningful look to the depressed, silent Al Bundy next to you, like, you'll do that for me, won't you? May impress 12-year-old girls dreaming to become a princess, but I reckon even some of them won't buy it. That's rather a bad caricatural version of Married with Children than anything else. The royal family maintain a dignified silence, no matter how hurt, angry, embarrassed, wronged, falsely accused, humiliated, insulted, offended, or even enraged they may feel, not because they're numb, but because they're in charge. Looking back now, if one of the reasons that Meghan Markle wanted to leave the royal family was to be able to openly respond to the negative press reports, why isn't she doing it? Where is the follow-through? Was this reason the truth or a lie? Let's face it, the real reason Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, left the royal family was to cash in on all the loot she thought she could make by selling herself and products she supported as a royal highness. When her big wedding took place, I know she read the tabloids about how much money was generated from the tourist items that sported her and Harry's pictures, plus the interest in souvenir books, clothing, and jewelry. She was thinking multi-millions with practically no work at all. Plus, both of them could command large fees for talks and personal appearances. However, Her Majesty the Queen put a very short, very sharp stop to those plans, forbidding commercial use of the royal titles, leaving Prince Harry and Meghan out in the cold, trying to figure out some other way to make some fast and easy bucks. Oh, perhaps a charity. People make lots of money out of a charity. They only have to spend about 5 or 10% of the proceeds and doing good. The rest they can spend on administration. How about you? What do you think of the future of Meghan and Harry? Please let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share with your own followers. And as always, subscribe to our channel for all the latest news on the royal family, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, right here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.